All right, you already know what it is. Crystal Palace, Tottenham. Let's get right into it. Start the timer. Starting now. All right, so we got Key. Key's a Tottenham fan, so let's hear it out first. Let's hear it out from Key.
3-0. It's very disappointing. We missed a lot of first team players. We missed about 7, including Son, Bergwijn. We missed Romero, Sanchez. And we had Dyer injured off in the 11th minute. And so we had Rodon and Japhet Tanganga starting as a center back.
Pairing up for the first time in center back.
Yeah,
too,
first time this season. Last season, I probably once or twice they paired up together, so they weren't really used to each other. And what's your take? What's your opinion on this?
I always do the one side first and then another. So I want to talk about Tottenham side first. Only positive about Tottenham side is Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura, I believe he's done all he can. Lucas Moura's been pretty good. His dribbling that I've mentioned in the first video about Man City, he kept that form going. He got some shots off. I think he was the only one who got a shot on target. So Lucas Moura was the only positive. Otherwise, nothing much.
Yeah.
Nothing much.
About Lucas Moura though, I had the first video about the football tactics uploaded on our channel. It's our first video. I mentioned Lucas Moura that he's very agile. He's a crack. So he's a dribbler. He can dribble through defense. He's a great on-ball dribbler. So I think he showed that. I feel like he was the only positive. Other than that, yeah, I feel like the tactics. Talking about the Tottenham side, we have to talk about the Tottenham tactics that Nuno brought. What happened is they paired up in a 4-3-1-2. So basically, they didn't have wingers. They had Harry Kane and Lucas Moura, Dele Alli, all packed up in a center. They only relied on Reguilon and Emerson, the two fullbacks, for the wide attacks. What happened is that when they went up and the midfielders dropped back, it's that the fullbacks weren't as good. The Reguilon and Emerson, I understand. Like he came in, he started training like a week ago, 7 days ago.
It's his first game.
Yeah, it's his first game too. So I understand. Like he went against the most trickiest winger in the Premier League, Wilfried Zaha, and
I wouldn't say that.
oh, he's a great winger. So I understand. All right, Emerson, we can let it slip, but Reguilon, I get he's a fullback. I know that there's no winger in front of him, but him alone and Emerson just didn't provide enough for him. Every attack was centered around the central part where they have strong Crystal Palace center backs. They're strong, big. Nothing could have been done. Like Harry Kane couldn't do anything. Dele Alli couldn't do anything. Lucas Moura, yeah, time to time. It's just that he was all by himself. He was isolated. So I think that was the biggest problem in the Tottenham tactics.
I like how you mentioned Harry Kane because we always talk about it's a Harry Kane team, but it's really not. It's really not. When Kane is missing, sun shines even brighter, and it should be the same with Harry Kane and how much he's demanding and how much he thinks he deserves. Obviously, I'm not a biggest Harry Kane fan, but he should be. These are the moments where Harry Kane needs to step up and do a little bit more. Like obviously, you can't blame Harry Kane for the 3-0, but he should have at least done something. I couldn't see him all game. Right? The only reason I saw him is because he's a big guy, but Harry Kane needs to do something more than that. And obviously, this red card is unfortunate, but I think Tanganga, I forgot to mention, I think that was one of the wins too, is where Tanganga shoved Zaha. I think that's when Tottenham could have stepped up and be like fired up and then be like, yeah, let's pick this thing up. But then let's move on to the Crystal Palace side with this. When Zaha got up and got in his face, that was game over. That was already over. It was already over to begin with, but Crystal Palace just ended it. It was a dagger to the heart. And Zaha got up, the fan got fired up, the players got fired up, and Tottenham just could not handle pressure as history goes. And I mean, but Tanganga's side, I think what he did was great because he's standing up for his teammate. He's being a dog. He's showing everybody that we care about our players. That we're behind everybody and showing great chemistry. But Zaha just did a little bit more.
Yeah, talking about the Crystal Palace, like I don't like to focus on individuals, but Zaha was just amazing. He was every time he got on the ball, or against Emerson or against Hojbjerg, like he was always there penetrating through, creating chances for Crystal Palace. He was the main man. Overall, Crystal Palace, they were always on the front foot, Tottenham was on the back foot. They were always first to the ball, first to head the ball. And that's the effort. The effort was there. The effort level.
Yeah. Anyways, when he's thinking about his thing, I want to mention Gallagher. Gallagher's have been very good. I've never seen anybody talk about Gallagher after this game, but he's been everywhere. He looked like he was everywhere. He was covering every single space possible. Offensively, defensively, he was involved in every single crucial play. And I want to give him a huge shout out because no one's really been talking about him over like Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, or just anywhere. I've never seen him get mentioned by not by many people. And same with Edouard, who actually scored 2 goals and let the French Revolution truly begin. Crystal Palace deserves a lot more credit than they're getting right now, and especially Gallagher, of course. Gallagher, I don't know. I'm running out of words to describe this guy. This guy's been I would just say energetic, and just being everywhere was fantastic for him.
It's not really new for me because I watched Conor Gallagher last season when he was playing in the West Brom, and I was like, man, who is this guy? Everyone's talking, like a lot of people were talking about him. So I watched the West Brom game. He was a made man. He's like what, 20, 21? Like he's very young, but he was a made man for West Brom. He was always there. His kicks are very clinical. It's very, very accurate. I think he's gonna be a great player for future. What I want to talk about, another thing about Nuno is that his interview. After his interview, he said, like how Tottenham played well. They were holding on to it until that penalty, the Davis handball. That's when everything got kind of scattered. But what I really want to mention, look, it was shocking. We had 2 shots. Tottenham had 2 shots, one on target by Lucas Moura. That was the most shocking thing for me. Like, how could you have 2 shots in the total, 0 shots in the first half, and say we're holding on to it against Crystal Palace? Like, I get it. We're missing like Lo Celso. We played Harry Wing. We started Harry Wings. Like he's not that great these days.
Not great. He's trash.
He's not
not trash, but he's not good.
That's a little too brutal. But yeah, he's not good. He's bad. Lo Celso wasn't there. I get it. Ndombele wasn't there. Brian Hill didn't even play. We missed so many players. But at the same time, how could we show that kind of performance against Crystal Palace? Like Crystal Palace, I get it. They're a good team. Like that, but they're not that good. You know what I mean? They're not that good in the Premier League. We're almost like a top 8, top 6 seed. Tottenham's kind of that team. Crystal Palace is like they're always in the mid-range zone or sometimes fighting for relegation. Like they're that kind of team. And I don't think Tottenham should be showing that kind of performance. Like Nuno shouldn't have said that, in my opinion. I think should have been more accurate, more honest with his words during the interview.
And speaking of Nuno, you've not always been, but Jose out. And I've been pro Jose, and I think this is kind of too early to say this, but I've proven my point properly because I've always said Mourinho does his job. It's just the players that can't keep up the pace, and clearly Tottenham showed that. First 3 games they looked amazing. What happened? Exactly. It's the same. It's just the players. Managers changed. The players come in, but the players just can't keep up. It's the players, not the manager. Obviously, it's only like match day 4, but you know what I'm saying. And the players just got to show a little bit more, especially Harry Kane. Harry Kane's got to show a lot more than this. And yeah, but Tottenham overall just nothing very good. Just being dogged by Tanganga and Lucas Moura. How much time we got? Oh, we still got a minute. Key can close it out for us.
All right, so I just want to say Tottenham, we had a great game of runs. Like first game was fine against Man City. It's just that the next 2 games against Wolves and those games were just wasn't as good. Wolves, Watford, we should have won like 2-0, 3-0. It's just that we weren't we didn't meet up to the standard. So when we lost against Crystal Palace, I kind of saw it coming. It's just that let's forget it, right? Let's forget it. Tottenham should forget it and move on. We're gonna have Sanchez, Romero against Chelsea. We're gonna have Lo Celso back. So we should play Brian Hill. I'm gonna talk more about this during my next football tactics. We should have played Brian Hill in this Crystal Palace game. We have like 30 seconds left. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just want to close it out. Tottenham, forget it. Let it slip. All right. First game, it's fine. We were missing a lot of players. We just weren't there. It's an away game. All right. But next game, Chelsea. Let's even if we lose, like we gotta show what we got at least. Any last words? We got like 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds. I'll make it quick. Harry Kane, do what you do. Stop being Stop being selfish and do what
Harry
you
Kane,
do.
please.
Don't be like that. And then, oh my goodness.